Alright YouTube, so we are back with another video. We don't talk much about Overwatch. We've only ever done one video regarding Overwatch. We've only ever talked about the politics of the game. The video we did was about Soldier 76, like years later, after the game's been out, the characters have been established. Out of nowhere, Soldier 76 is just gay. Like, for literally no reason, which I know that phrase has pissed off a lot of people. What do you mean for literally no reason? Like, he wasn't gay before. He wasn't gay for years. Then all of a sudden, Soldier 76 is gay. And look, I don't want to sit here and harp on this because it's an old topic and we've already talked about it. But when it comes to a game like this, there's not really much of a story. Yes, they put out like cinematics and videos and stuff like that, but it's an objective-based game. You get in there, you're on one team or the other, you play the objective, and that's it. And then you load into another game, and over, and that's the game. That's all it is. It doesn't matter the character's sexuality or the gender or the species or whatever. It just does not matter in this kind of game. So because of the politics that have surrounded Overwatch, it's always soured me on the game. It's made me never want to play it. Though I've never had much of an interest anyways, it's not my style of game. When it comes to multiplayer games, I usually just play shooter games, and it's generally team deathmatch. This is what I'm into. I don't need an objective. I just want to get in here, kill other people that are actual IRL people, ruin their day, make them unhappy, and go on about my day. But on top of the politics that surround Overwatch, the community itself is also just one of the most toxic communities out there, and that's kind of what this video is attesting to. It's what we're here to talk about today, because people are triggered, upset, offended over a character skin. So Sigma is the newest character added to Overwatch, and his origin story with this video essentially is he tried to harness the power of a black hole, had like a mental breakdown because of it, and it's implied in this video because we see him on like a gurney, and like white tiles on the ground, that he went to like a psychiatric ward or something like that. This right here is the outfit in question, the Asylum outfit. It's very, I'll agree, it's very trope ridden. If you were to tell me to design like an outfit for somebody like who's in a psychiatric ward or an asylum, I'd come up with something similar to this. It's all white, belts and buckles all over it, similar to like a straitjacket. No shoes, which is also like a trope of that. You also have a mask over his face, pretty similar to like Hannibal Lecter. Now, to me, this isn't offensive in the slightest. Again, I will agree that it's very trope-ridden, but that's also kind of the point, I think. I think that's what they're going for here, because when I think of an asylum, I think of, like, the craziest, most dangerous people, right? Even if there's not a difference between, like, mental hospital and asylum, when you say that somebody's locked up in an asylum, I think of very, very dangerous people, and his outfit would imply that, with the straitjacket so he can't use his arms, no shoes so he can't, like, kick at you and really hurt you that much, and something guarding his face or his mouth so they can't bite you. Like, the outfit, to me, makes sense. Also, the video itself, the origin story for this character, implies that he's a dangerous character. He's on the gurney freaking out, not knowing why he's being imprisoned, and then it hard cuts to him being like, you see him like looking evil, like he just like murdered some people, or is about to murder some people, and that's probably why he got locked up in an asylum. Like, did these people who are offended by this even watch this video? Because it absolutely tells you what's going on.
Where am I? Why am I being imprisoned? Release me! I will bring you a new understanding of the violence.
Like, honestly, is it so hard to grasp? It seems like he was successful at being able to harness the power of gravity. Looks like he's doing some Magneto shit right here. He was dangerous at one point. Maybe he has like a split personality where he goes like super evil and then he's like kind of regular, doesn't know what's going on. And he got locked up. Like, it's a pretty simple. Now that I'm talking about it, it's like this whole conversation is fucking pointless. Why are we having this conversation? It's so obvious just by watching the origin trailer. And I'm not trying to justify him being an evil character, but they tell you in the trailer that he's been working on this for decades and decades, trying to figure out gravity, trying to harness gravity, and then eventually harness the power of a black hole. You're talking about years and years and years of just math equations, probably every day, all day long, and he finally succeeds. On top of that, we don't know much about black holes. Like, we know very little. We know it's like an insane amount of gravity that not even light can escape it. Imagine somebody who finally figures out a black hole, figures out how to harness a black hole. We don't know shit about it. We don't know what happens when you go into a black hole, what happens past the event horizon, what happens if you go through a black hole, is there something on the other side? Is it a wormhole to another dimension, another part of the universe? We don't know shit about them. And in his character story, he's able to harness the power of a black hole, which is a lot of power. It's one of these probably strongest things in existence. People seem to not realize that a black hole is real. That actually exists. It'll suck planets and shit into it. It sucks light. The gravity is so strong, it sucks light into it. Somebody who's able to harness that power is probably going to be pretty damn evil. I initially wasn't going to read any of the quotes of the people that are offended, but I figured why the hell not. This one says, I still can't get over how Tracer being a lesbian and Symmetra being autistic are details that show up once in promotional Overwatch stuff and never again, but Stigma's mental illness is referenced constantly and only in unflattering ways. Look, I already knew that there were characters that were like gay and lesbian in this game. We talked about that near the beginning of the video. I, however, was not aware that there was an autistic character in Overwatch. And for me, that is a super reach. That is some absolute super pandering. That is insanity. I've never heard of that in a video game. Who is that for? Like, really, do you really need to play a Symmetra because you're autistic? Do you really need that representation in a video game? Because I'm autistic, I need an autistic character in my game, or I'm just not playing it. Like, if they're going to get that specific with a character backstory to make one of their characters in this game autistic for whatever reason, there's all kinds of other boxes they have not checked yet. There's all kinds of other, like, disorders, diseases, mental illnesses. There's so many other people that aren't represented, so they need to get on that. And I've never really understood the logic of, like, there's got to be a character like me in a video game or I can't play. And maybe that's partially because I am a straight white male, which is generally what, like, the lead of a video game is, right? But right here, you're watching me gameplay of me playing Mafia 3, where the lead character is a black guy who is super oppressed, racial slurs thrown at him. Nothing like me. Nothing like my life. And you know what? I play this game because I love it. The game is fun as hell. I do not give a shit that I'm playing as a black character because I don't need me represented in every single goddamn video game out there. In an interview with Polygon, the lead writer Michael Chu actually explains the character of Sigma that says, with the idea of the character, we never intended him to be an example of someone who's going through mental health issues. He's really supposed to be more focused on this very specific thing that happened to him, which is that his body and his mind were literally ripped apart by the momentary exposure to a black hole. And that's kind of what I was touching on earlier when I was talking about black holes a little bit. Like, we don't know what that would do to you. We don't know shit about black holes. We know very, very little about them. So who knows what it's like if you're going to be exposed to one, even for just a moment. And as I said right here, in his character story, his origin story, his like mind and body were just ripped apart by the black hole, which is probably why he went crazy and evil. And because of the Asylum outfit, it is implied that because of him being an evil person, at one point in time, he got locked up in an asylum of sorts. And it all kind of wrapped itself up into a nice, neat little bow, and this whole entire conversation is fucking stupid. We were going to read much more of this, like, Kotaku article and some more quotes and stuff, but it's just not necessary. As I made the video, as we've gone on, it's just a stupid-ass conversation, so we're just kind of gonna end it here. I'll have the Kotaku article linked below in the description if you want to check it out for yourselves. But reading shit like this, man, it makes me glad that I never really got into Overwatch or am not a part of the Overwatch community, because god damn, man, they are some whiny-ass people. But of course, as always, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll stay up to date with more gaming content, I guess. I don't know what to say here. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter at TheDashingDavid. And my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.